forever sleep. Earned it I have.
Master Yoda, you can't die.
Strong am I with the Force, but not that strong. Twilight is upon me, and soon night must fall. That is the way of things.
Disney is in full panic mode after seeing reviews of Rise of the Skywalker continue. They continue to be 58% rotten, certified rotten. Now, with 231 total reviews in, that's roughly about half of what The Last Jedi had for total reviewers. It was somewhere around 400 to 500. So with 231 reviews in and a 58%, we can say with virtual certainty that this movie will be the worst reviewed in the modern day trilogy, that it will be almost, well, first of all, I could say statistically, unless there's 1,000 more reviewers let in randomly to fix the score, it's impossible that this movie will be in the 90s, which, by the way, both modern day trios were. It's impossible, statistically impossible, almost, well, it's highly improbable that it will ever crack the 80s, maybe the low 80s, but the trend would have to completely reverse, and you'd have to, again, have a large increase in total reviewers versus The Last Jedi. I'm guessing, well, geez, I just can't predict this because I thought for sure this movie would be reviewed extraordinarily high, but we learned, I think, a motivating factor for many of the critics is the fact that they thought there was too much fan service. And normally, that would be a green light for me to say, holy moly, if the critics say there's too much fan service, that means it's an amazing movie. But they said the same thing about Avengers Endgame, yet still reviewed that at a 93 or a 94%. Plus, the critics dislike it for that, blaming, you undid what we liked about The Last Jedi, but fans seem to be disliking it for different reasons. So we may have a very rare both critic and user review low, which doesn't happen all that often on Rotten Tomatoes, but it will be for different reasons. Once you dig in, you'll see, as my prediction will be at least, that the fans dislike it for lore reasons or because of a general dislike of modern characters, while again, the critics will dislike it because it undoes a lot of what The Last Jedi was about and that it does too much fan service. But Disney's got more problems than that right now. I bet you didn't know. Remember the internet aghast at the live action Cats trailer that was released? Well, Cats also releases this weekend, and it's currently sitting at a 17%. The critics hated it. The critics hated a movie jam-packed with Hollywood elites, a musical, a beloved musical that they another huge miss for Disney. Some of the reviews: Adam Graham of Detroit News, woof. G. Allen Johnson, San Francisco Chronicle, I found Cats pretty bland, but it has its moments of catnip, and as a holiday movie option that anyone could see, it might just be the ticket. Brace yourself, 2 out of 5. The part people, part cat, faux feline Hollywood hairball is me. Ouch. God, all the cat puns. The movie is a nightmare you let live out its 9 lives alone. How about Hannah Woodhead? I felt the light inside of me slowly fading. New York Magazine. There is something magical about the simple fact that this movie exists. In all its obscene, absurd wonder, its terrible filmmaking choices, and bursts of jaw-dropping talent. So I don't understand what exactly Disney has to look forward here, to. I'm not sure that this is going to be a really strong Q4 for them. When we look at the reviews for The Rise of Skywalker, not much has changed. 231 reviews, and it's about 50-50. Some of the new reviews that are in, you have Showbiz Cheat Sheet saying positively, The Rise of the Skywalker is less concerned with resolving a plot than making you feel. J.J. Abrams can get emotion from Star Wars even if it doesn't really make sense. that doesn't sound like the type of review I would say is positive. It's interesting that J.J. Abrams has now basically ruined two great franchises, Star Wars and Star Trek, in some people's eyes. But then you get two positive and then three negative. Dustin Chase. Skywalker is expensive, general family entertainment, galaxies away from original and inspiring. Sean Michelle Fetters from Movie Freak. This is the first time I feel like the Force is no longer with the franchise, and the dark side of corporate cookie cutter greed has proven to be victorious. Michael from GameSpot. It should never be so clear to audiences that something in filmmaking process has gone so terribly wrong. How about Lauren Clifford, Reeling Reviews? Unnecessary exposition delivered with the pummeling speed of a tennis ball machine, colliding logic, lack of consequence for momentous setbacks, and sense of inevitability makes J.J. Abrams' capper to the original saga a disappointment. Now, if you watched YouTube last night, Jeremy Jans' review, now he's obviously a film reviewer, but also a great big Star Wars fan, was number 1 on trending.
And this is just real. The Rise of Skywalker is my least favorite of the 9 core saga films.
Worst of the 9. The kind of the core 9 films. Number 1 on trending. You've got a movie reviewer who's got a really nice, concise, spoiler-free review saying your movie was awful. Even today, 12 hours later, it's still number 5 on trending. Somebody at YouTube really disliked Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, otherwise they would not have curated that up on top. I can't believe that we're seeing corporations not play ball with Disney, not try to protect Disney. This is baffling to me. Just like I thought when J.J. Abrams' Party Is Over was trending on Twitter, I couldn't understand how Twitter would let that be. Now, it's not all bad, because Disney obviously has done pretty well with their Disney Plus option. A lot of people really like The Mandalorian, and I think they signed up something like 24. So according to Variety, Disney Plus has signed up 24 million U.S. subscribers in November and took a bite out of Netflix, analysts estimate. Disney Plus has snagged an estimated 24 million U.S. subscribers at the end of November, and a strong debut for the Mouse House's new streaming service boosted cancellations among Netflix customers, according to New Wall Street analysis. The estimates come from the research team at Cohen & Co. Based on a census-weighted survey of 2,500 customers last month. Per the survey, 21% of total respondents said they signed up for Disney Plus in November, suggesting the 24 million number base exiting the month. That would blow away previous Wall Street forecasts for Disney Plus, which had pegged less than 20 million subs worldwide for 2020, even after factoring in the expected lift from the one-year free offer from Verizon. While some research has indicated that Disney Plus has had minimal impact on Netflix, Cohen & Co. estimated that Disney Plus will result in about 1 million additional U.S. Netflix customers canceling service for the fourth quarter in 2019. All told, about 5.1 million Netflix subs in the States will bail in quarter 4. But the higher churn appears to be, quote, manageable for Netflix, Cohen analysts led by John Blackledge said in the report issued Wednesday. The incremental churn uptick, and churn is just your new customers coming in, old customers going out. We have that in YouTube, right? If you see a YouTuber like myself, I might add 300 new subscribers a day, it might look like. But what really happened is I probably added 700 but lost 400. That's churn described. Now, when you look at some of these reviews, they're pretty scathing. And if you look at what happened at Disney stock on Wall Street, you saw a pretty significant drop starting December 18th, when on the 17th they were high at $148 a share. And then after all of the review issues, we've seen it drop all the way down to $145 a share. So in a 3-day span, you're losing about 2 to 3%. That probably translates to billion. You could have Disney, other articles like Disney could have $7 billion blockbusters in 2019 because they have so many big films coming out next year. So they could obviously bounce back. But with everything we know about what's going on with their theme park, what they've done to the Star Wars franchise, they've absolutely got to be in full panic mode inside the Mouse House. Even so much so that according to the Wall Street Journal, they're going after Etsy individual Etsy creators for making baby Yodas. That's right. Because there was no available Baby Yoda merchandise, cottage manufacturers and obsessed do-it-yourselfers are filling the void. All I want for Christmas is Baby Yoda t-shirts, Baby Yoda Christmas ornaments, and an odd-looking collection of Baby Yoda dolls made from felt, yarn, and resin. Are all for sale. Baby Yoda giving a sweet-looking adorns a coffee mug with the words Yoda Best Dad. Ha! That's funny. But at the beginning of last week, several sellers began receiving notices from Etsy that deactivated their listings at Disney's request. A recent search for Baby Yoda on the site, however, still yielded more than 5,000 results. Now, you've got to call them Alien Doll, or you've got to call them something similar, which I think, obviously, you understand that they get to protect their franchise. Now, we look at the box office. I'm going to finish this video on some box office predictions. I still say, and will always say, that this movie will still make $1 billion. If we look at the modern trilogy, TFA, The Force Awakens, okay, dropped in 2015. Now, that was after a 10-year hiatus since Revenge of the Sith, which made $850 million, all right? Phantom Menace, which was the beginning of that one, made $1 billion as well, and $1 billion in 99 is a lot different than $1 billion in 2019, okay? So when we look at TFA, it made $2.1 billion worldwide. But, interestingly enough, Rogue One, $1.1 billion, a 50% drop in revenue. That is no mistake. That is a lot of people coming back in and not liking what they saw. I mean, 50% of people didn't like what they saw, and they released the next movie the next year. It's not like they had to wait forever. Then you saw Rogue One at $1.1 billion. Then you had Last Jedi snuck up to $1.3 billion, and Solo, which lost money at $392 million. Now, I'm going to guess that TFA, Last Jedi, you have 2.1, 1.3. This will probably be in the $1.5 billion range. I'm sure they'll make money because Star Wars fans bought their tickets. Like, I'm not going to be surprised that if opening weekend numbers are high. Of course they will be. They've been sold out for months. But the question is, will it have legs? Will it outperform The Last Jedi? I'm thinking that there's now, I would have said 1.5 billion before, but now I actually think even though the last film in a trilogy is always, is bigger than the rest, the first and third are always bigger, I'm going to predict that it will not out-earn The Last Jedi, which maybe I'll be wrong. I've been wrong on everything on this movie, but I'll be interested to hear what your predictions are in the comment section down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.